Once again,
hello, Wildflowers.
Would you mind flipping that around?
I'm Judy, and this is the screen monitor.
And I am Peggy, the forgetful one.
Yes, that's
Thanks
fine.
for joining us again,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Hi.
Full disclosure.
Tell
We
us.
do 2 podcasts in the same day. And so I still have the French bulldogs. And so it's going to be probably mayhem. And we just hope that they don't knock down the camera. You know, that kind of thing.
I'm optimistic. I think they'll be fun.
Okay, but I hear they're playing with the squeaky toy now, so they're keeping that.
They're good little puppies.
Yes.
Aren't you a positive
Well,
person?
I don't have to take care of them. I'm going home after this.
Yeah.
No, they're nice little
Good luck
dogs.
to you.
Yeah, no, they'll be fine. But yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to our hairdresser,
Griselda.
Griselda.
Yeah.
You know, I just saw her yesterday, and every time I see her, she talks about the podcast. She watches our podcast, and guess what? Her favorite, this one.
Peggy.
Wow, I'm the star of the podcast.
Another sunshine. She genuinely
Yeah.
thinks you're funny and entertaining.
You are funny.
Thank you, Griselda. I'm going to start my stand-up career pretty soon. You've given me inspiration and encouragement.
No, Griselda is awesome. We love
Yes,
her.
and she shares our podcast with her family
Oh,
and
how
stuff, so
nice.
we really do appreciate
They
it.
both go to the same hairdresser.
do.
I go to a different one.
Right.
I've been going to Sorrel for years.
Right.
Years and years and years. Like her kids were really little, and now they're like
Right.
young adults, and you know.
Wow.
So I love
crazy.
my hairdresser too.
That's
so.
crazy. Well, I think you mentioned something about a word.
Oh, you know, I always have a new word.
Yeah.
So this is my new word that I learned. This
Okay.
was on. I go.
I wonder if we'll know the meaning of it. But no, she always tricks us, so we'll
I
see.
do. Okay.
Tell us.
So anyway, this word is elsewhither.
Can you spell it?
Elsewhither. Elsewhither.
Is that like a plant or something?
No, it's not a plant. And nothing to do
Use
with
it in a
plants.
sentence.
Okay, well, first of all, it was first recorded in the year 1000.
Wow.
It's Old English.
I love old.
So do I. I think that we should all start speaking that way because they have like the
Can you
coolest
imagine?
words.
Maybe we'll have
Maybe we'll do a podcast.
just old
Okay,
English.
Oh, I would do that.
Yeah.
I would be so
All right, so I'm going to read the sentence that
Okay.
that came. I go on dictionary.com. They send me the word of the day every day, and then they always use it in a sentence.
Okay.
So the road forked into 2 paths. One that led to town, and another that led elsewhither.
Oh, very nice.
Like elsewhere.
Exactly.
Okay.
In another direction,
Right.
or
Somewhere
towards
unknown.
right, or towards a different path or goal. So that immediately I thought of me, which I brought up in my last podcast about one of my regrets was that I
right.
never pursued a degree. And I said, well, many of my friends went on to go to college after high school, but my path led me elsewhere.
I knew that was coming.
And you know, I ended up in retail.
Where
and,
you met us.
And
Yeah.
I really, when you think about it, like I could have that regret that I didn't get it, but my whole life would have been very different.
Oh, yeah.
So most of my friends are people that I met at Borders
Yeah.
and in other retails, but mostly at
Yeah.
Borders.
Right.
And I wouldn't have met my husband because one of my jobs where I met my husband was when I worked at Kennedy Airport. I worked in the duty-free shop.
Oh, okay.
And I met him.
Yes.
Who's crying? It's Seamus. He's
Okay,
crying.
buddy.
He's looking for his mom.
Yeah.
She's
It's
away.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had my kids. Then I wouldn't have had my grandkids.
Right.
So
When you
know
can
what?
really go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, you
about
really
that.
do. One little thing, one change could
Yeah.
really turn your whole life around.
Especially
So,
Baruka.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah. So anyway, that's elsewhither,
Love
a great
that
word. I'm gonna put that in our annals, and I know that you guys want to do a podcast where we review
Yes.
all
yes.
the
But we
words.
would need you to.
Yeah, so what I'll
orchestrate
do
that.
is I'll compile a list of the words that we used
'Cause I don't
that I can
remember.
remember. I don't
Do
remember
well.
a lot of them either.
Right. We'd have to listen to all our old podcasts.
Yeah, well, I'll do that. I'll compile a list. Excuse me.
Okay.
Wine burps.
Okay.
So,
Well, speaking of wine,
Wine.
we are doing this again like we did the last podcast because Peggy bought these wine tasting
These are really good.
sheets.
Yeah.
And before we come on, because we don't want to sit here and be marking it while you're just watching us mark the papers.
that could be boring.
Yeah, it could be very boring. We're boring enough, aren't we?
No, but no. What I like about this is making us think because for our watchers, these sheets are broken up into 4 categories. You have questions about the look of the wine, the smell of the wine, the taste of the wine, and some
And
details.
then the details,
Where you
once
kinda
you know
guess.
what the wine is.
Right. Oh, okay.
You know, once you know the varietal and
Oh,
what
all right.
region it comes from and the vintage and the producer.
Oh, I kind of was like guessing what I thought it would be.
And that's fine.
Well, I guess you could do it that way, but to me
But it
it's
makes
like,
us
what
pay
is this?
attention
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
we sip.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, because like Peggy, I think Peggy said in the last podcast, we don't pretend to know. And we don't. So this is just a
This
good
is helping us learn about it.
Yes,
And,
yeah.
okay, so Carol, the wine was yours.
Right.
So we don't know what it is because it's in this paper bag. Do you
Right.
know what it is?
I do know what it is,
okay.
but I know it
Is
is.
your name Paul now?
Anyway, the intensity. What did you write for intensity?
intensity. Oh, I didn't answer that. So go Peggy. I'll answer mine. You go, and then I didn't answer that question. Sorry.
You did.
Yeah, but what
Oh,
Is it
I'm going to
deep?
say the first one, pale.
Okay, I agree. I said it was deep as well.
I said it was deep. You said
said it
pale?
was
Oh my God, really?
Wow.
I'm surprised.
I did.
What
Interesting.
color did you say it was?
Garnet.
Yes, garnet.
I said purple.
Oh, I said garnet too.
It's
Yeah.
pretty deep there.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And the viscosity?
I said medium to low.
What did you say?
I said syrupy.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
very full body.
Oh, I
It's too
don't
sweet
think
for me.
so.
It's too sweet for me.
I don't know. It's
Oh,
me. It seems
She's
built in.
wrong, Carol. Okay, so the smell.
Yes.
Smell was nice.
So the smell, I did medium high.
Me too.
I did medium low.
Oh, she's wrong, Carol. Okay, and the fruit?
I said currants.
I said raspberry and little pepper.
Oh, well, that's not fruit. That's
I know, but I wrote it all in the same.
Well, it's under
Then you have herb too, but I just wrote it in the same.
Yeah, well, I put for fruit cherry and blackberry,
Wow.
and then for herb I put pepper.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not wrong there, am I, Peggy?
No, you're not. And how about oak?
I said no.
No, see, I put oak and earthy. I think it's very earthy.
okay.
Really?
I don't think so. All right, so sweetness.
I think it's very earthy.
I said it was dry.
I put
Well, wait.
soft dry.
Oh, I put very sweet.
Oh, you did.
Sweet.
It tastes very sweet to me.
Oh, I don't think it's
I don't
sweet
think
at
it's sweet
all.
at
I
all.
put off dry.
I said dry.
Okay.
All right, what about acidity?
I put low acidity.
Me too.
I put,
Yeah.
I put medium.
All right, tannin.
Medium.
Medium.
I said low.
I put medium down. No, didn't you feel it like sucking on your teeth?
No.
Remember your lips to your teeth?
Yeah, I remember. I know. And it's funny, I didn't feel that.
Right. Alcohol.
Oh, I feel it.
I said the second one. What is that, 10 to 11%?
Okay.
I put 13.5 to 15%.
I put 11 to 13%.
All right,
Okay,
and body.
And full. I put full.
I put medium.
I said medium light.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so let's see what the
Wait,
hell it is.
do we have a guess where region it came from?
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to say it's a California, and it's probably, I'm going to say it's a Cabernet, maybe a blend Cabernet Franc.
I really didn't think it was a Cabernet. I'd be surprised if it was a Cabernet. And I
It's not Pinot Noir.
no, I didn't.
It's
say-
not Chianti.
I know where it is, and I'm wrong because I saw your paper.
Right,
It's from-
right, right.
But I said this was more like France, and it was a Beaujolais Nouveau.
Okay. All right.
And I know that's wrong because I saw
How
your
much?
paper.
Well, I'll tell you the price point after. Is that?
Yeah, tell us after.
Okay. All right. So here it is. It's Nero Grande.
Oh, I have this. We bought this in the best bottle value.
What is
Because
a
I bought one too.
passamento?
I'll see.
We did?
Yes, I have it home.
So that's the type
A
of the wine. It's
Sassamento,
called a
and that's
passamento?
yep, a Sassamento. I have it at home.
A passamento.
Yeah.
Passamento.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, no.
What does that mean?
Where's it from?
It's a red wine from Italy,
Okay, so it's
Passamento.
and the percentage is 14.5.
I would never guess that.
and it's Italy.
Fruity.
Really?
Yep, I looked it up.
Yeah,
the
I think it's
description,
fruity, yeah.
And it's sweet. It does say sweet in the
See,
description.
I didn't
taste
see
the
that.
sweet.
And maybe that put it in my head because I did read that it said it was sweet.
What's that noise?
I think Jason's cooking upstairs. He's making something.
See, I had this at home. Actually, I thought that I
Well, you
might
know,
have done a tasting with this, did I?
I
No,
know.
you never did.
Then I still have it home.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I put it with my expensive bottles thinking it was a gift from somebody, so I did not remember that I bought it from there because it says Trader Joe's sells it for $7.
Yeah.
Oh, but we paid more than that. I think it was $11 in bottle value.
You sure it wasn't one of the ones that you buy 3 for?
No, that's what I thought it was, and then I looked it up, and it wasn't. It was like
Oh, okay.
$11 or $12.
That seems like it for me. Like I'm
Yeah.
not that impressed by it.
Oh, see,
Right,
I
right.
like it. I think it's good.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I
I
like it.
think mentally it just plays games with me because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
No,
I wish I didn't know the information because I told Natasha yesterday she came over to get some things and stuff. I said, pick out a wine. Don't let me know what you pick because I have quite a
I
bit
think
of
it's
wine
very good.
to pick out. I have a lot of wine to pick out, and so I said, you pick it out and put it in a bag, and then we totally forgot. So I was like,
Oh.
okay. So today I just grabbed
Yeah.
one.
Oh, see, it's good when you don't know what it
It
is.
is,
You
yeah.
might have had a whole different
I
opinion.
absolutely agree.
I know. I don't think it's a bad one. It's just it tastes like a. It doesn't taste like a
I feel like it's blocking. Peg.
big
When
full-bodied wine. I love a
Can we
full-bodied
just put this-
Yeah.
wine. Yeah, put it.
I think it's full body.
I don't
And
think it is.
it's funny because after I bought it, I thought that it was in one of those bins too, that were like $5.
Right.
And then I looked it up and I said, no, it's not.
They have the bins.
Where are you
They
finding
do.
$5
In
wine
bottle value,
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
they have
have
like
that
these
on there.
bins where they have
It's in
all these
Bethpage.
wines and I guess
Oh.
that maybe they're ready to expire or, you
It's
know.
okay for me.
I don't want to block you.
It's okay.
No, I don't want to block you.
She's tall, you're not gonna block her.
Yeah,
We're the short
look at me.
ones.
Look at
We
me
get
on the
blocked.
screen. It's like a
Hagrid, I know.
slope. So I'm fine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay, well that was fun.
I
Thank
think
you.
you'll go murderer here. That's
Oh my
all I
God. No, thank you. Go.
Alleged murderer.
Okay,
sorry.
look at who's laying
Oh,
there.
the puppy's going to sleep. I
I
told
don't
her
know where
she'd
the
be
other
good.
one is, but I think it's on the couch. No, I don't know. Whatever.
So what book are we reading? I'm intrigued because I
Oh,
saw
I have
the
the
book
book.
and I'm interested in what it
Okay,
is.
so this is Margaret Atwood's latest
I love
selection,
her.
her latest books. I love her too.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
this is their short stories.
I love short stories.
You will love this book.
Oh, yay.
And they're all different stories. I have not finished it, as you can see, because I'm reading another book at the same time. A book that actually Judy reviewed a few podcasts before, and I really am enjoying it. It's called The Rain Heron.
By Robbie
It's a
Arnett.
really a very good story. I love this book. I love Margaret Atwood. I love the way that she writes. And my favorite story so far in this book is called My Evil Mother. And we can all relate to that.
Not my mom.
Yeah.
It
And
wasn't evil.
no, but you know, like when you're a teenager,
Yeah.
like you think,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and it was like a teenage girl and her relationship with her mom, who purported to be a witch.
Oh.
And the father had left, like I think that the girl didn't even know him, and the mother pretended, or maybe she really did, you're really unsure at the end of the story whether the mother really was a witch or she pretended to be a witch to form this relationship with her daughter, to explain things to her that happened in their lives. So the mother used to say, go ask your father. And of course, the girl never met her father, but the mother told her, the gnome, the garden gnome by the front door, I turned your father into the garden gnome, and he's much happier now than he ever was.
Oh my gosh.
It's like you laugh out loud.
That's so
when you read it, and the story goes on till when this girl becomes a woman and has a child of her own.
Wow.
And
that's interesting.
I just really enjoyed it so much.
Now, how long are the short stories? Like,
They're very short. They're easy. Let's see. So my evil mother. Let's see.
by the way, Peggy's mother was not
evil.
She
No,
stretches
my
it.
mother was like the most wonderful person.
It's okay, baby. You know what? There's thunder and lightning going on right now, so I think
They're getting upset.
Yeah.
So this is my evil mother.
that. Oh, okay.
Oh, see, I
You
love
know,
a short story.
it's very, very readable, and that's why, like, I could read another book.
You're gonna have to loan
Because
that to me.
I definitely
Yeah.
will.
Wait. You're gonna loan your signed copy?
Oh, it's signed.
Oh,
Yeah, I
you
don't
can't
want
write in it.
No, I know. No, I'll buy it. I'll buy
This is
it.
a
Yeah.
signed first
Yeah,
edition
I
that I
agree.
bought in Theodore's box.
Yeah, you know what?
in
Signed
Oyster
copies
Bay.
are different. I wouldn't take
But
your
it's
signed
fine.
copy. Yeah,
It's
no.
fine. I don't care.
Sorry,
I got rid of.
No, you're right.
I got rid of most of my signed
You
copies. I
don't
sold them at the
keep mine.
Oh,
bookstore.
mine. I have bins out in my garage, even
Yeah.
though a lot of these people, I don't even remember them.
Yeah.
I don't loan my signed copies.
7 of the stories in this book follow a married couple throughout their lives.
Oh, interesting.
And it's you have to read it, and look at the title, Old Babes in the Wood.
Yeah.
It's a great title, and actually that's the title of one of the stories.
She's
in here.
another effortless writer.
Oh my
The way
God.
she writes,
Right.
it's just, I feel like it oozes
It's
out of her.
effortless to read.
To read.
I'm sure.
I'm sure I know it, I'm not trying to belittle the process,
Yeah,
but
no,
the
no,
way
no,
it
that's
reads,
true.
the work she probably puts into it, it just comes off very effortless.
That's
Yeah,
such a
she
compliment
is-
for any author. That's
I guess it
awesome.
wasn't. I thought it was the name of one of the stories, but no, I was totally wrong. But anyway, it's a wonderful book. I highly recommend it. I would give it like 4.99.
Oh, wow.
Wildflowers.
Wow.
And here's Margaret Atwood's signature in it.
That's a
She's
keeper.
the author of
And it
Handmaid's
is
Tale.
The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
She's
many more.
awesome. Yes.
Yes, not just
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
And I have to read more of her books. I really
Yeah.
With all of your
don't. I mean,
time.
these look at
Oh, you just got
that's
it.
okay. I'll get it. Well, these are just some of her books.
I know.
Yeah.
Look at this. It's like 2 pages
Very-
long.
very
She
prolific.
actually wrote graphic novels too, which I didn't know.
Yeah, she's
Angel Cupboard. Oh, The Handmaid's Tale. They turned into a graphic novel.
Wow.
And War Bears. And then she has children's books.
It's fine. I'm not going to
knows?
say to you because I'll review it later, but I picked up an author's book recently, just this week, and I started reading it, and I was like, oh, this looks good. And when I opened up the I'm ashamed. I didn't know who this author was, and like that, so many
wow.
books, and
Yeah.
ones that were made into movies that I've seen, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh. I'm like, wow, this
Oh,
is interesting.
okay.
Yeah, so it'd be
Yeah.
nice to see.
that's very
Always, I love when I learn new things like that.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
So now our next podcast is going to be with the
Well-
sunflower.
Yes, it's gonna be a different one. We're gonna have other people here discussing it with us, and I'm really looking forward to that. We're gonna have to discuss the time.
The
and everything.
logistics of it
Yeah,
all.
exactly. But
If anybody else wants to participate,
Please
Sure.
pick up The Sunflower, which is by
Yeah.
Simon Wiesenthal. A very short book. I mean, you look at the book, it looks like this big, but it's actually like a short story, 46 pages long. I mean, that's it. And then you could read the rest.
Yes,
the
yes.
rest of it
Yeah.
is
As commentary.
everybody their
Oh, okay,
commentary,
right.
the
Yes.
commentary on the subject.
On what they would
Right.
do.
And it's all
Yeah.
about forgiveness
Yes,
and
it
what
asks a
can you
question.
forgive,
What would you do if you were in this situation?
and could you forgive that person?
Could you forgive it? And so you'd be surprised by what happens, and you might be surprised if you decide to read some of the answers that other people were asked
Right.
about it. But I'm saying you don't have to read all of that to be prepared
right,
to talk about this book.
exactly. Yeah. But we never gave Wildflowers to the wine.
Oh.
Oh, Okay, I like this wine, so I'm gonna give it a 3.75.
I'm giving it a 3.
Okay.
It's very drinkable.
3.25.
I wonder if I could have sworn that I did this already.
No,
No.
you didn't do this.
Then where is that bottle of wine? I don't see it at my house anymore. Maybe I gave it to Jessica or...
Yeah, see, it's sweet
Yeah.
to me. Okay.
All right, so should we move on to the topic?
Yes.
Yes, we
All right,
should.
so I was inspired by this topic after seeing something on the news media. But anyway, I wanted to talk about heroism. Okay? And in the context of what are our personal heroes, or maybe heroes in professional, when you think of people in their workplace, maybe not necessarily your workplace, but just in general workplace, and political heroes. I was inspired by you, Peg. I went to dictionary.com and I looked up the word heroism, and it was okay. The definition said the qualities or attributes of a hero or heroine. I didn't really like that
Yeah, it
definition.
doesn't really tell you too much.
I found a better definition that I liked, and it said heroic behavior involves finding the courage to take a significant risk or make a great sacrifice to achieve a noble goal. I think that kind of describes something better. So I kind of want to, what do you think? I want to throw out a question to you. What, in your opinion, makes somebody a hero?
You just said it. The definition of what you said was, for me, it was like sacrificing and not getting for themselves, but for the good of others. I feel like that, to me, is for the hero, you know.
Yeah, I think the hero extends themselves beyond their own personal interest.
And comfort zone.
Exactly. And I mean, if I may, I mean, CNN always they have this
Yes,
program,
I know what you're
the
talking about.
CNN Heroes.
Yes.
And I was reading about one of the recent ones, and you guys will love this because it all has to do with animals and with pets. And there's a doctor, and his name is, the name of the project is the Project Street Vet.
Okay.
And it was founded
Oh, I
in
know.
2020, and his name is Dr. Kwani Stewart. And in it was during the pandemic, so maybe it was 2020, I'm not sure about the date. He went to the 7-Eleven where he always goes. He's a vet, okay? And just run-of-the-mill vet, like all the other ones. They work in an office and take care of people's pets and get paid a lot of money for it. And he went to his 7-Eleven where he always buys his coffee, and he saw a homeless man who was always sitting outside the 7-Eleven. And the homeless man had a dog. And this day he stopped and he recognized this person. He saw this person there with his dog, and he stopped to talk to him and to check on the man's dog. And from there he eventually created this project, Project Street Vet. And he decided that he wasn't going to do this all for profit. He formed this nonprofit, and he got people in different cities. This is in California, and he also has outreach in Washington, D.C., in Boston, and in San Diego. He was in Los Angeles. And that's what he does. He takes care of homeless
I've seen
people's
that story.
pets, because he said they are some of the most devoted
Yes.
pet owners that
Yeah.
he ever met. Like, you could look and say, why would you bring that poor animal, to live the way you live? But these people and these animals are so closely connected with each other. The loyalty that they have with each other is phenomenal. And they really, really care about their animals.
And not a lot, but a probably an element of this is a lot of some homelessness can be attributed to not being able to find housing that will allow you
Right.
to have
Yep.
pets.
Yep.
You look at rental properties,
I know.
very
No pets.
small
No
of them
pets.
have no pets. And
Yeah.
so these would, in a way, would rather make the choice to be homeless
Yeah.
Yeah.
than to have to give up their
Yeah.
pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I read about this man, I said, oh my gosh. So he actually has a GoFundMe now because he's been doing this out of pocket for the last
what's
few
his
years.
name?
And his name is, well, what you want to do, the GoFundMe
Yeah.
is Project Street Vet.
Yeah.
And he has raised $273,000 out of, he needs like 300 and something thousand.
Such a
And this is
worthwhile-
going to be an ongoing
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
Because he's really expanding across cities and trying to get this to be like, let's take care of these animals and these people who don't have the funds to go to a vet to take
Right.
care of their animals.
That's a great example of a professional hero. It's
Exactly.
somebody who's using their profession to
That's
do
right.
something heroic. It's not
Exactly.
needed,
Yeah.
but that
Yeah.
they do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have an example of a professional hero?
Oh gosh, you threw me off. Professional. Well, maybe. Kathy, who was on one of our podcasts,
Yes.
a guest,
Hi,
was on
Kathy.
here. She owns her own business, a flooring business, and does carpentry and stuff. And she got me out of a really bad situation, an apartment that I was living in, so that I
That
could.
was amazing.
She gutted my aunt's house that I ended up buying for, I bought it for a price. It was not that cheap, but Kathy said, I will do the labor, you just buy the materials, and she didn't charge me anything, and she built a house for me.
And that's
I know,
who,
she's
that's who
amazing.
she
Kathy is amazing
Kathy
and stuff.
is a good person
Yeah.
inside
And I think she's
out,
gonna
yeah.
be here for the sunflower
Oh,
discussion.
yay.
Oh, good.
Because there's a whole story about why that is happening with her, and it's very
We
interesting.
love Kathy, but no, I'm not surprised by that when
Yeah.
that happened because that's
Yeah.
who she is.
And it's so crazy because she's always telling me that I'm a hero in her life because I saved her and her sister and brother because I came into their lives and stuff. I'm like, she goes, no, I really wanted to pay back, and I was like, it wasn't, you didn't need to pay back, but I'm forever grateful because
Yeah.
if I hadn't had that, I wouldn't have been able to buy my other house back.
Right, yeah.
So it's okay, Seamus.
Seamus,
He
it's
doesn't like the
alright.
thunder, I don't think.
His name
Well-
is Deacon.
No, it's not. It's
Well,
Seamus.
I'll tell you about the professional heroes I thought,
Okay.
which kind of inspired this story for me was I saw a story on CBS News. I like watching them occasionally, but it's called Project Uncovered or Uncovered. It's it deals with newspapers in South Carolina, okay, and which are newspapers across our country we're folding, they're flailing,
Yeah.
and a lot of the smaller newspapers in a lot of our countries, but this one I'm talking about mostly South Carolina, we're closing up shop, and what you're finding when your little newspapers start folding, corruption goes unchecked,
rampant.
right? Political misdeeds go
Yeah.
unchecked.
Yeah, and local areas, Like,
Yes, and I mean, think about it. Your journalist job is really the only profession that's mentioned in the Constitution. Right?
Oh, really?
No, that's
freedom of the
interesting.
press.
Yeah,
press.
that's interesting.
That's right. Yeah.
This is an important job
Very
to our democracy, right? So they South Carolina, what they did here, which is kind of, I think, should be a model. They created something called Uncovered, which is shining a light in South Carolina corruption and misconduct. So the Post and Courier, which is a very important paper there, started partnering with a lot of local papers, approximately 20 of them so far, but I think and growing, basically to share stories, to share resources, in order to ensure that the investigations of political abuses of power misuse of taxpayer dollars and reports of misconduct get investigated and disseminated. So sometimes these
Wow.
papers are
Yeah.
only one person,
Yeah.
2 people.
Yeah.
But you know what? They partnered with it,
That
and we'll
is-
send a reporter down for you. We'll share you this. You give us your story. We'll give you this story. You know,
Oh, okay.
and it's keeping these newspapers afloat. It's keeping these
Uh-huh.
local newspapers alive, and it's keeping a thumbprint on the pulse of the pressure of local
That is
political
amazing.
Yeah.
That is,
people.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was happening. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah, I
amazing.
thought it was amazing because they didn't have to do that because a lot of
Yeah.
papers are about profit too.
Exactly.
But they're realizing the virtue of what they were there for, the importance of their work, and they're thinking outside the box and
Yep.
trying to make a difference. And I like
Yeah.
that. To me,
Yeah.
that's a professional.
Yeah.
That is a great story. I like
Yeah.
that too.
What about political?
Oh God, I
God.
have a whole bunch of them.
Well, let's just do one each right now. If you had to choose
Okay.
one right now, who would you say is a political
Okay.
hero?
All right, I'm going to jump in. I had written Jamie Raskin, but I think I changed as we were talking as Liz Cheney.
Yeah, I could see that. Tell us.
Liz Cheney went against, no, well, she had passion about what was going on, and her whole party, you know, she knew that she was going to get kicked out,
Yeah, and
But-
she did.
and she
Yeah.
did, and but she knew that our democracy is just very challenged right now.
Yeah.
It's more important than her political career.
Exactly.
Which is what a politician should
And that's
be.
what's not happening in most of the Republican Party, like
So
look at
that's-
Kevin McCarthy.
I look at her as being a political
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, oh God, I have so many written
one.
down
Just
here.
one. No.
I will pick one, and I'm going to pick Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Ah, good one.
He
Yep.
didn't care what anybody was saying about
Yep.
him. He did his job.
Yep.
He did the best he could to protect us from the pandemic, no matter what was being said about him.
Yeah.
And I just admire him so much for, first of all, he wanted to be retired.
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
stuck it out for the benefit of this country. And I think he is a political and professional hero.
I agree with that.
Yep.
My choice would be John McCain.
John McCain was another one.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh-huh.
for many, not even just, his military alone, what he went
Uh-huh.
through, but I mean,
Right.
also he was a co-sponsor in 1990 of the Americans with Disability Act.
Uh-huh.
But what I remember most vividly, because it's most current, is driving to work. And I have to drive to Jamaica and get really early, and I didn't, I go to bed early, and I didn't know what was happening with the Affordable Care Act. I thought it was dead and going to be
Right.
dead. He was not a fan of the Affordable Care Act, to be honest. But when I heard them recap it on the radio, on
Yeah.
the drive to work, and this
Yeah.
is around 4:30 in the morning as I'm driving in there, what happened? I almost lost control of my car. That is how amazing I think that thumbs down veto was. And to think about, he put which is so him. He put the masses' interest above
Of his political
politics.
career.
And he,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that he worked so closely with Ted Kennedy,
Yes, yeah.
And did you know that he died of the exact same rare cancer that Ted Kennedy did
Yeah.
on the exact same day?
Oh,
that I-
really?
About
I did
7
not-
or 8 years apart, but it was to the
That I
day.
didn't remember.
Wow.
Isn't that
I
kind
didn't know
of
that.
kind of eerie? But just Ted Kennedy was a big proponent of some sort
Right.
of health care
Right.
plan, like this big health care.
Yeah.
So I mean, to realize that, I go, he saved it, and it is successful. It's not perfect. I'm not here to say I'm such a. It's not perfect, but we needed something.
I know.
We needed something.
It was a start.
It was a start, and it can be tweaked, and he saved it.
But not only
He
that, not only that, I respected him because he was fair. He was a fair politician, other than the fact that he picked, well, I don't know if he picked Sarah Palin, but Sarah Palin was picked. But when he was doing a talk and some woman stood up and said
Yes,
that she
I
didn't
know.
like Obama.
That's right. He
because
defended Obama.
He goes, he's a Muslim. He goes, no,
Yeah.
stop. Stop right there.
He was
and
honorable.
He
And
shut
that-
her up.
that was a Republican. That's how the Republicans should be.
That's
Right.
where we should be. I
Yeah.
mean, he was
That's
this
where we're
close
not.
to having
Right.
my vote, and I'm mostly
Yeah.
Democrat.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but he was this close. If it wasn't for Sarah Palin, he might have had my
Oh
vote.
my God.
To be
yeah.
honest, I mean, that's how much it was important. He
Right.
was an honorable man,
Yeah.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and I'm. You know, Liz
Yes.
Cheney is one
Yeah,
that
he
might
was.
sway
Liz
my vote
Cheney
too.
was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
say, if she ran, she'd make me think hard on
Yeah.
that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'd be a hard
Well,
one for
then
her.
you have to think about her other views, though, about
Well,
women's rights. I'm
yes,
sorry, that's
no.
a big
It's a big
issue
thing.
for
It's a big
me.
thing, but at the same
So,
time,
and
she has
immigration
proven herself
and-
to put
She is honorable.
democracy
Yes.
above
Herself.
politics, and that's
Exact.
all I want. I want somebody
Right.
to put democracy
Yeah.
above religion,
Yeah.
and I want
Uh-huh.
somebody to put democracy above politics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I can respect you on those two fronts, you may get my vote across
Yeah.
party
Mhm.
lines.
Right.
That's really how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Another person that, I mean,
Well, wait, did you
Well,
have?
we were gonna I'll let you. She's got one more to mention. Go ahead. You mention one more, then we'll move on to personal.
Alexei Navalny. The guy who speaks
yeah.
out against
Right, right.
Putin. He
Right,
went
right.
to jail.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
in prison.
I-
They
I-
tried to poison
I
him.
know, I know.
But he's speaking out
Yeah.
against the corruption in Russia, against
Right.
that government. It's not even government, it's really, he's an autocrat.
Right.
And the man is
Yeah,
in jail.
He's gonna die.
Well,
then.
that's a question before we get to persons. Another one I had written down is, I guess over time, you know, and especially in literature, you see how the definition of hero changes or the concept of it. But is a hero in your mind more one that endures some sort of oppression or one that fights back?
He did
Well, I
both.
think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like look what he's enduring now, but he keeps on fighting back.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Yeah. No, I think, yeah. I think-
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't deny that one.
Of course not.
and you
no.
know, you have all your civil
She
rights.
wants to say all this.
No, we're gonna go to persons. We went so over last time. Carol,
Personal.
I told Carol keep this one shorter.
Yeah. We don't want to bore you. No.
What about personal heroes?
Well, I think I told you my personal.
Oh, Kathy? But
Yeah.
that's professional.
Yeah.
You got something else.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, you go, Peggy, because I don't know if I.
Well, you know, I didn't even give that any thought, but the first thing that comes to my mind is my daughter Samantha,
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything that she endured. You know, quite a few years ago. You know, like her marriage failed because of her health. She had brain cancer, and like she just powered through it on, you know, pretty much on her own. I mean, we were there to support her, but she was like,
Oh my God.
I can handle this. Let me do it
You're
my
the mother.
way.
You're the mother, and,
Yeah.
and what you say is like, okay, Peggy's right. This
Yeah.
girl
Yes.
just, and even when she went to culinary school and that and all of that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm just like, she is just, she
Yep.
travels the world. She just.
I know.
Yeah.
She really is. She's
strong
very
woman.
strong. I mean, both of my girls are.
Right.
But you know, I have
Well,
to give kudos to Samantha. She
With the
had
challenges.
these struggles when she found out that she had brain cancer. Her husband left her, and you
Yeah.
know, like you know,
It
so
did
she's
knock
my
her down.
personal
It didn't keep
hero.
her
No,
down.
no,
that's
she
awesome.
stays strong, and
See where she comes from.
you know, yeah. Mm?
Who's yours? Because I'm still.
You know, I've got so many, but I would actually say when I thought about the one that came to mind initially was my brother.
I knew you were gonna
Yeah.
say that.
Did you? Because I was, you know, I was.
Yeah, I had a feeling that you
Yeah.
would. So
Yeah, I would. He? If you would have known him when he was young, I'm the older sister. He went through a lot, and I'm not. It's not my story to tell, and he did not
Right.
give me permission to say. You know, so I'm not gonna. But he
Right.
went through a lot,
Right.
and overcoming so much in different ways, in different aspects of his life, he has accomplished a lot. Now he is a commander in the United States Navy, and he flies planes, which is always what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He didn't take no for an answer, and he achieved his goals. He is, and when I say this, you know, life hasn't always been, it's not all roses for him, and I'm sure, if he think he might wish things differently, but he makes lemonade out of lemons,
Yeah.
and he's still going, and he is just a great guy with a lot going for him, and I'm just so proud of him.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to
definitely.
be his sister.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah.
That's so nice. That's it's so funny because I wrote down here personal, Kathy.
So you read the
Well, I
wrong
think
one, but
that,
yeah.
should count anyway.
Right,
I mean,
right,
you
yeah.
just said it before the question was asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, really. Really.
Well, I'm also like when you went professional. I don't know if this would count as professional. Malala Yousafzai.
I
That's what Malala did.
Yeah, I know. I thought
And
of
Ruth
her.
Bader Ginsburg.
I know so much.
I know, all the
determined to
civil
get her-
rights.
Oh, I know.
leaders.
I know.
Shirley Chisholm.
It's back to Carol. Go ahead.
Well, I'm also working with a gentleman for his book with another gentleman. They were volunteer firefighters, and they wrote a book called They Saved New York. And it's a photography book, and it's out now, but he's doing it self-published, but it's a beautiful book. And all about the volunteer firefighters that, while other people are getting out of the building, these firefighters go in.
Well, look at the two firefighters
Oh my
that
gosh,
just started in
that's-
Newark.
Yeah.
They had no training for that kind of firefighting.
And they still went in.
And,
Yeah, it's
it's
just,
heartbreaking
it's
what
very-
happened to them and how horrible it must have been
Yeah.
for them in that situation.
so if I were to look at that, I would say my dad, because he started the fire
He
department
did.
That's
from
right,
my
yeah.
town.
He started, and it's still
Yeah.
there.
It's
Yeah.
still going, yeah.
Yeah,
And actually, the funny story is this gentleman, I sent him a picture, when I first he reached out to me and I sent him a picture. I said, oh my gosh, my father started the fire department. I sent him a picture of my father sitting in a fire truck, and he goes, Carol, I just bought that very truck. Because he does that, he buys these
Yeah.
fire trucks.
No.
I said, one like it? He goes, no, that one that says Cherubusco on it.
Wow.
And I was just
You
like,
should have him send you a picture.
I was blown away, just
Yeah.
blown away. Well, he ended up selling it because that's what he does. He
Oh,
brings them in and he
gosh.
refurbishes them, and he sells them to another fire department or donates them or something.
Wow, that's amazing.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So that's a very special story. But yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was a good topic to kind of touch upon, and just
No, I love that
You
it's
know,
a unique topic.
and to pay attention to. We sometimes, like you said, we hear these stories like on CNN Heroes, or we
Right.
might hear it on
Right.
CBS News.
Mm-hmm.
But to give it the light, the attention to that there's heroes in all of our work, personal, professional, political, and I think it was interesting that a lot of particular political heroes were opposite to what we identify
Right.
with.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah.
And
That's a good point.
It's just something that there is commonality out there, that there can be ways to touch anybody just with a humanity, with
Yeah.
dignity and honorable
Yeah.
conduct.
And well, I just had a thought here, like, if I can put it into words, like I was thinking of young kids and how kids go out of their comfort zone to do something heroic or whatever, and I was just thinking, like, like when the kids get picked on or whatever, and somebody sticks up for them.
Yeah.
But I don't even know how to word it. It's like, should that be heroic, or should that should be the right thing to do? Just sticking up for somebody, not letting other people.
Well, unfortunately, that's a heroic act because not everybody would do that.
Yeah.
Especially a younger person who, you don't want to be, the
Goody
kid.
two-shoes.
Exactly.
Oh, you're such a goody two- yeah.
You want,
Yeah.
like the popular kids to
Right.
like you. You don't want to be the kid who's
Yeah.
going to stand out.
For any kids that are doing that, you're heroes to
Yeah.
us, and we need more of you.
Well, especially, but I thought about it with kids, now that you mention it, is too often we teach our kids to look towards athletes as heroes.
Yes.
Right? It's like
Yeah.
I think the baseball player or the football
Right.
player or that's our hero. That's an idea of a hero.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of talk about, I was like, to me that's an idol. Like
Yes.
you might want to strive
Yeah, right.
to be
Like,
a better.
you could be a fan.
strive
Yeah.
to be
Right.
a fan,
Mhm.
strive to be a better baseball player yourself.
Yeah, right.
But that's not a hero.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
like what are they overcoming? They're
What
just
are
doing
they-
something that they're
look,
good
right,
at.
looking
you
at
know.
the definition, right? It's like,
Yeah.
you know, heroic involves finding the courage to take a significant risk
Right.
or make a great sacrifice to
Right,
achieve.
exactly.
If you're a ball player who's getting paid millions of dollars all a year just to play baseball, you're not taking a significant risk.
No, you're not.
You're not making-
following your passion.
You're not making a great sacrifice,
that's
great.
right?
Yeah, there's
right.
nothing
What's
wrong
the
with that.
sacrifice there? So it's like, okay, you know, if I got paid $10 million
Uh-huh.
every year, you know what? I'll do that. You
Right.
know, what,
Yeah.
it's,
me,
but
yeah.
why should we be teaching our kids to think these are heroes?
Right. Right.
It's
No,
different,
exactly.
and a lot of
Yeah.
them probably won't be able, you know, to know about some of these other heroes, like
Yeah.
Veterans Day. A lot of them don't even know about our veterans.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like, and heroes are everyday heroes too. Like, you hear about it on the news. Somebody fell on the tracks of the subway, and somebody really
Yes.
brave
Right.
jumps down when the train is
While
coming.
everybody else is
help it.
holding their phones up,
Exactly, videotaping
Yeah,
it. And this
exactly.
person rescues them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, to me, you know, I think most heroes are everyday
doers,
heroes.
the
They're the
doers.
people
Yeah.
who are
The
helping
helpers.
other people. They're the helpers.
Yeah.
They're the helpers.
Yeah.
Look to the helpers.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's your
Yeah.
heroes. Look to who helps.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
You know, a very simple act could be a heroic act.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Just something
Yeah.
so simple.
Yep.
On that note, be a hero, everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
Be
Yes.
a doer. Be a helper.
That's right.
Thank you for watching.
Isn't there
And,
like a song? What was that song?
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
don't
like
know.
one of those songs that makes you, I can't remember it.
Yeah. I
But
don't
it was
know.
about being a hero, and it always used to make me feel
You're
very
my
like,
hero. Bette Midler song. Didn't you know that you're my
yes,
hero?
that's it. Of the wind beneath my wings.
Yeah.
I always love that song. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. You don't want to hear us sing that. Trust me.
No, they don't want to hear us sing. Oh, who's barking?
Oh, all right.
Who's barking? You had to be on the video a little bit, didn't you?
Oh, we're still on.
We're still.
They were very good though today.
They were resting.
Told
yeah.
you, yeah.